The Joe Rogan Experience.
Dude, we live in a weird time, man. Are you paying attention to all the stock market shit with GameStop?
So I heard a little bit about it.
We covered it a little bit yesterday. My friend Sagar and Jetty from the Rising the Hill, he covered it, and we played some of his shit. What basically is going on is these people who are speculators on Wall Street, you know, they short stocks, meaning they are gambling that a stock is going to lose value. And so then these Redditors, these smart dudes on Reddit are like, you know what? Fuck these people. Let's just buy a bunch of this stock and jack that price up. And so they all got together, thousands of them, and they bought a shitload of that stock, and the price went fucking flying, like went way up.
Yeah.
And so then all the hedge fund people that were gambling on it losing money, they lost billions of dollars, like instantly. And Wall Street started panicking. And so then they realized, these Redditors realized they can do this, so they started doing with other stocks, like movie theater stocks. And so then this app called Robinhood, which is an app, which is, Robinhood is supposed to be steal from the rich, give to the poor. That's the story of Robinhood. Instead, they are protecting all these hedge fund people by stopping people from doing this. So they're stopping all the sale of these stocks that these Redditors all get excited about.
So Dave, Vlad Tenev, who's the CEO of Robinhood, he was on. We all watched the full interview just to find out what his reason for doing this was. Why did he do it? This was his explanation.
We absolutely did not do this at the direction of any market maker or hedge fund. In order to protect the firm and protect our customers, we had to limit buying in these stocks. I know how Clorox and Lysol felt in the pandemic when they were running out of hand sanitizer and supplies. We just haven't seen this level of concentrated interest market-wide in a small number of names before.
You don't buy it, do you?
No, I want to take a cold shower after watching that. He's lying through his teeth. He was protecting his clients by taking all their money. I mean, listen,
which
if
clients?
That's what they were doing, they should have froze the market. You shouldn't have been able to buy it or sell it, whatever you had it at, and let's figure it out after fairly. They crashed the market. So you protected your client. No, you didn't. You took money from him. That guy's a liar.
Yeah, I want you to hear their ad, Dave, and tell me if you think they're living up to it.
Remember when greed was good? When you had to look the part? When you had to pay for a seat at the table? We set out to change it, the way the system works, to put the power in everyone's hands, to make it feel, speak, sound, and look just like you. We all invest every day in ourselves, our communities, our future. We are all investors.
So, Dave, you think they lived up to that ad?
Listen, the name of the company is Robinhood. It's supposed to steal from the rich and give to the poor. They did the exact opposite. And we find out they're selling information to the hedge funds. These guys are the biggest frauds of all time. And again, I keep saying it, but it's criminal, and they belong in jail once we figure out what actually happened and why they did what they did. It wasn't to protect their clients. Get out of here. How stupid do they think we are?
Yeah. In fact, it sounds like they got $1 billion worth of equity money from other investors so that they could open today because it sounds like they were having a liquidity problem. I want you to listen to this guy, Leon Cooperman. He's one of these hedge fund billionaires, and the way he is so dismissive of these little guy investors is shocking. Listen to this.
The reason the market is doing what it's doing is people are sitting at home getting the checks from the government. This fair share is a concept. It's just a way of attacking wealthy people. And, you know, I think it's inappropriate. We all got to work together and pull together.
So that's what's going on. According to him, they're attacking wealthy people. You got these people who are day trading. You know, they're not rich guys. They're just trying to make a buck during a pandemic. They're playing by the rules. But unfortunately, as we're all learning, the rules in Wall Street are for Wall Street, not Main Street.
Yeah, it's crazy. That guy needs a violin and a tissue. Lee, he went after me at the beginning of the pandemic when I started day trading, and all the day traders were kind of following the DDTG stream, and said it would end in tears, and I was leading them to destruction. All we've done is make money till they changed the rules, and now Lee is once again crying it's unfair, and people are attacking the rich. It's real hard to feel bad for Lee, whatever his last name is, Coppenrath.
We begin at 5 with a still developing story in Oldsmar, where there's been a cyber attack on the city's water supply. Investigators say someone took over a computer that controls the chemicals in the water and tried to poison it. Fox 13's Dan Maddox joins us now live. And Dan, this sounds pretty scary.
Yeah, Cynthia, we were talking about the water supply here for 15,000 people in Oldsmar. The operator here at the plant actually saw the computer screen, the mouse move across the computer screen when he took action.
You can now add planet Earth's most plentiful natural resource to the list of things that investors can trade. Water began trading on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange today, joining other commodities such as oil, soybeans, and Bitcoin. Let's bring in Tim McCourt of the CME to tell us more. Tim is the global head of equity index and alternative investment products at the CME, which is the world's biggest futures exchange. Tim, it's great to speak with you. The backdrop here, of course, is climate change, and droughts have made water a growing risk for populations, water scarcity specifically, a growing risk for populations around the world. And certainly this is a big issue for farmers and other big users of water. What kind of demand have you seen for what you guys are now allowing to trade, water futures?
Yeah, that's a great question. And as you said, when we look at water in general, it is one of the most vital and also most scarce resources that we have on the planet. And even today, about 2 billion people are living in countries that face water scarcity issues. And by some forecasts, by 2025, almost 2/3 of the world population could be facing water shortages. So when we look at such a scarce and vital resource, one of the things at the CME group that we've been focusing on with our partners at NASDAQ is how to bring products to market that allow people to hedge or manage their risk associated with something that's so vital and so critical to what we do. So when you look at the users of who might be trading water futures or who might have that risk in terms of price to water, it's certainly a lot of agricultural business, but you also look at things like municipalities who have to deliver water to their constituents, public utilities, energy companies, or a lot of consumer companies that have water as a raw material. Or an input into their production process. So a lot of people have natural exposure to water, but up until today, couldn't manage that risk on a regulated exchange. And that's what we're so excited about with this contract, is being able to bring that risk management to such a critical resource.
There you have it. I think you guys are knowing where I'm going with this, but we'll make this part as short as possible. Let's just talk about the 5 lessons that GameStop has taught me with this whole debacle. Now, this stuff is stuff I already knew, but it really caused me to sit back and look at these 5 things with a fresh perspective and way more nuance. And this is pretty much what I've gathered. Number 1, volatility means profit. Volatility means profit. Obviously, we saw from this situation with GameStop, some people profited, some people didn't. But there was profit to be made with the volatility of the market, right? Right or wrong, good or bad, that's what happened. And so looking at this from a perspective moving forward is we're going to see, and the water supply is a great example, we're going to see water being traded on the stock market. And we'll get into why they're doing that in a second, but that's going to be a reality for many places. And as time goes on, you can expect to see more and more, local municipalities wanting to profit off that fact, right? And so realizing that volatility is profitable, is a huge incentive for more and more people to want to get into that kind of e-commerce. Like I said before in the past, you can make money starting out, looking at the long term. You can make money on the way up. You can make money when you think the stock's gonna dump, and there's lots of nuances in between. So moving forward, I think it's important that we understand that fact and we look at that with a very, detailed perspective. Number 2, everything's for sale. Water's for sale, right? So look at the different ways that water in California, for example, in this case, is going to be for sale, right? So you have water for sale from the sheer fact that you can buy it from your local municipality, right? So somebody can go in and say, hey, I want to set up a water account and I want to get water, right? So that's one way to make money off water, right? Then you can make money by being the person that sells chemicals and whatever filtration system so that needs to go to the water, right? So you have money being made from the consumer, the person that is, in that municipality's jurisdiction to get water. So you can make money that way. Money is being made by the filtration chemical process of said water. That's another way people are making money from the water supply. If they sell water out of jurisdiction to other places, that's another way to make money. Now we're saying that, it can be made money on the stock market. So what does that mean? You start selling it, people sell the idea of money, right? Because that's what a short squeeze is, essentially. You're borrowing stocks that you don't own and hoping the price goes down so you can profit off that. So literally, everything is for sale, right? You are taking something so nuanced and so simple, right? Water, and you have now made a way to make there's lots of different avenues to make money on it. You can make money having never tasted the water, never experiencing the water, never knowing anything about that water supply, that municipality on the other side of the world, and you can short squeeze it. And in this case, we saw that with a cyber attack, it's a great way to short squeeze it, right? And so everything is for sale, right? The idea of water scarcity is for sale. The idea that the water is going to perform well in the stock market is for sale. The idea that the stock may dump is for sale, right? So you have literally taken a life-saving commodity and you've been able to make a way. There is now a way when it's being traded on the stock market to make profit off it on all different levels, right? So it's very interesting, right? Like I said, the consumer can buy the water. It's profitable. People sell things to the people that operate the water plant to make money. You can sell the water out of jurisdiction to make money. And now you can profit off its volatility of it doing well or the volatility of it doing bad, right? So it's very interesting to realize everything's for sale now. Everything's for sale. Number 3, rules for thee, not for me. I don't want to get too deep into this. Just realize, moving forward, there are rules, right? And we know there are rules. But there's a profit to be made or there's incentive. Rules can be bypassed. GameStop was a perfect example. We saw that with Robinhood. Plain and simple. There are rules and they're subject to change overnight depending on who's profiting. So we won't hit that one too hard. Number 4, I kind of already hit on this. Prices and profit are all subjective to the point of view, right? It's very clear. You can make money and profits really depending on how you're wanting to make money. Are you hoping the stock crashes? Make money. Are you hoping it increases in price? Make money. Are you thinking it's a great long-term investment? Make money. And anywhere in between, there's a chance to make money. And depending on how you look at that, depending on what the viewpoint is, great way to make money. And like I said, all these things I'm saying, we already know, but it's very interesting to see it play out on a wide scale. A wider scale, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. Very interesting. And it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out in the future. Okay. Number 5, this is what I really want to spend a little time talking about. Resource scarcity is the solution. It's not the problem. Resource scarcity is the solution, not the problem. And I've said this before when we're talking about food scarcity. The reason why people are wanting to trade water on the market, right? And it's very clear. Please, I highly encourage you to do some research into it. It's because water scarcity. They believe, and many people are being sold on the idea that if we, and it's not, and here's the thing, it's not for me to say it, right? Because the other rules apply true. So irregardless of where you feel, what you feel about it, and I try to make decisions not based upon feelings because feelings are irrelevant, right? The truth is, regardless if you want to believe that this is going to equalize, the price of water or what have you, the irrefutable truth is this. By putting and by justifying it through a scarcity lens, that is the solution. The solution is not to give people more access to water. Trading it on Wall Street isn't going to give more access to water, right? It's not. Just because somebody day trades in Ireland for water commodity prices and water in California does not mean that more people are going to have access to that water. It's ridiculous to even make that argument. But the truth is, by putting and slapping that label on it, you are able to get it to where it is tradable. And that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, like I've said already in this video, volatility is profitable. How you look at it and your point of view is profitable, and it can be very profitable. And so we got to be very careful when we use these words like scarcity. Like I've said about food scarcity. Is it real? Is it not real? I mean, if you look at the definition of food scarcity, right? I am a very food insecure person based upon definition, even though I have thousands of pounds of meat on the hoof here, and I have, freezers full of meat. Doesn't mean that I'm food secure, because the definitions are so vague and so ridiculous. Literally, a vegan living in the South can justify that they're food insecure just because they don't know if they're going to be able to go to the grocery store and buy the brand of fake meat that they want, right? And that's been proven in the literature. I did that video. I'll link that video in the comment section, in the description box below. It's the truth, right? So when we use these words like scarcity, that becomes the solution. It's a money-making solution. It's a way to profit. And so when we're looking at that, we have to realize that resource scarcity does not mean what we think it means, right? It doesn't. There's nuance behind it, and there's a way to profit, like what we're going to see in the future. I mean, these water becoming a commodity is really going to change the game. Like I said before, the ability to make money off of it just by the idea of it doing bad, you can profit off of it. The idea of it doing good, you can profit off of it. You can make money anywhere. Right? Bitcoin's a great example. Cryptocurrencies are a great example. People are making money off the idea of an algorithm that exists in the ether with no intrinsic real life application, but you can buy real shit with it. I'm not here to, and here's the thing, I am not here to talk bad about cryptocurrency. I'm not here to talk bad about any investments. That's irrelevant, right? The feelings of these investments are of no consequences. The reality is, you can buy real shit with Bitcoin. You can buy real shit with these cryptocurrencies. You can buy real things. You can buy real tangible things with it. And the other fact is, you can't touch cryptocurrency, right? It doesn't really exist in the applications of something tangible, but you can buy tangible things with it. And the same can be said with our fiat currency system. And so I'm not here to slap a bad label on it, because like I said, that is of no consequence, because the reality is you can buy real shit with it. It's very real in the aspect of getting tangibles. And so it's important to realize that, like with water, it's very interesting. This is going to be a commodity, right? It's being traded currently. Different water municipalities are trading it on Wall Street. And so, like I said, you can have some guy across the world that's literally going to be able to profit off the idea that Oakland's water supply is going to go down. Short squeeze. Or somebody, of equal or greater distance from him can invest early on and say, well, I think that it's going to do well, right? Because population density in Oakland, I believe, is going to go up, because now every political decision is going to have a factor, right? Higher population, higher demand for water. These are all things that are going to play in to that commodity pricing. So everything is going to be interchangeable. Everything's going to mean something. Every political action, every public policy action is going to be a deciding factor, and it's going to, really test the price of that commodity, right? Before, a housing development would have no factor when it comes to the stock market in regards to water. But now it does, because now more people need access to that water. That means more water output has to be able to be justified. More houses are going to have, access to this water. They're going to be plugged into the system. That's going to have direct correlations with the commodity price of water. So really looking at it from that perspective and understanding everything that I said before, as far as volatility is profitable, rules for thee and not for me, these are all things that we're going to have to think about. So as a prepper and preparedness standpoint, I look at that and be like, okay, so now if my water is being traded on the stock market, on Wall Street, every public policy, every public policy issue or every public policy factor is going to have an effect on the price of water. Every public health factor is going to have, does that make sense? All these different things are going to have factors on the commodity. Population density, all the things are going to matter. And we can clearly see that with gasoline, right? Just by adding some kind of, detergent to the gasoline and requirements set forth by the state. Take California, for example, right? Every one you add is going to have an effect on gas prices because there's more red tape that has to go through, all that factors in. So like I said, really look at this from a nuanced perspective and realize things are changing rapidly. And I don't know if they really are, or it's just the appearance they're in, but it's very interesting times that we live in. So that's what GameStop's really brought to light to me. And I know I think differently. And I know a lot of you guys, and a lot of you guys have said that, and I realize that. I know I think differently, and these are the lessons that I'm getting from GameStop. But I think it's important for me to share these with you because this is the new reality, right? Whether we like it or not, we have to adjust to what is. And so things are happening, right? Everything is for sale. So hope this was helpful for you guys. Hope you guys liked the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you think I got this completely wrong, leave me a thumbs down. Let me know what you think. But I'm really curious with you guys on this one. Really want to know what you guys think. I really want to know where you guys think this is going. And I know my audience is very logical, very large, logical, and extremely intelligent. I know you guys are very intelligent. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what your guys' thoughts on this are and what lessons that you guys have picked up. So there you have it. I'll see you on the next one. As always, guys, long live the Republic.